Hi guys. Do you have movies that you watched, you liked, you couldn't find them anymore, and then you obsessed about them and built them up in your head until it got to the point where, I don't know, 15 years later you bought it and watched it and it didn't live up to what you remembered? That's how I feel about Prophecy. I do love the little bear. He's cute. Don't get me wrong. But this was a movie that I had watched on TV a long time ago, and I think I ended up renting it from Videoland, which was a video rental store that I went to in college. But I have not seen it in so long. After that, I just couldn't find it. So it went on a list as, if you find, then buy. And I did that. So I got the Blu-ray, super excited to watch it. I remembered so little about this movie. In fact, I remembered so little that I forgot that the naked mole rat bear is not scary at all. Now, I do like one of the little, the living cub, if you will, because there's the dead one and then there's the one that's still alive, clinging to life. I think that's pretty cute. It's actually an adorable little creature. But the actual scary mama bear, not so scary. Quite ugly, quite laughable. Like I said, naked mole rat. The saving grace of this movie is definitely Talia Shire. I love the Godfather series, and I love the Rocky series. So, to me, I love Talia Shire and most things that she does. I think she's a really good actress. Little underrated, I think, sometimes. The other big name in this is Robert Foxworth, and I just don't like him. I don't like him. He has this abrasive, prickly aura about him. I don't like him. And I love 6 Feet Under. He's in that. I find him to be annoying and I don't like him. This whole movie is based on the logging industry in Maine and a paper mill versus the Native Americans who live there. It's like a nature horror, progress, stepping on the natural beauty and preservation of the land and conflict due to that. There's a lot of hostility. Robert Foxworth's character, who's also named Rob, he takes his wife Maggie, Miss Talia Shire, she's a cellist. He takes her on this excursion where they are going to look into the situation and see if the paper mill is actually up to standards that fits with the Environmental Protection Agency. And if not, then they'll be able to shut it down, which will then allow the Native Americans to just keep the land and, it's a simple way to do things. So he goes, and Maggie is pregnant, but she hasn't told him yet because he is very, very opposed to them having children. And she keeps the secret for most of the movie. They arrive and there are ridiculous things. Like there's a salmon that is not as big as a cow. I almost said as big as a cow, but that's not true. There's a huge salmon as big as a German Shepherd, maybe. And like all these crazy little animal things start happening. So there's this raccoon that starts like spazzing out on their porch, and then it reanimates and starts attacking Maggie and Rob inside. And Rob actually throws it into the fire and chars it. It's really disturbing. And then he studies the brain tissue or whatever, and apparently it wasn't rabbit, it was something else. So they figure out that all these weird things are happening due to mercury levels in the water. And it's making things grow large, it's killing things, it's making babies have deformities, or it's causing them to be stillborn. And anything that eats the fish, which Maggie and Rob have been eating the fish, it will compromise any kind of fetus. And Maggie is worried because it's not proven yet. She hasn't told Rob that she's pregnant. She doesn't know what to do because she's pretty convinced now that, she's fucked and her baby's fucked. So she has to wait until he gets definitive proof. A ridiculous naked mole rat bear appears and he kills some campers. He like throws one of the kids in the sleeping bag against a rock or a tree and it explodes. That's pretty funny. But this bear has amazing strength, and when they actually look at some of the claw marks that it's made on a tree, the claw marks are really, really high off the ground, like way higher than a bear should be able to stand and reach. And they're deep, deep gouges in the tree trunks. So they know that something is up with this. So we have the laughable bear, and it has this desire to go after these people and kill them, especially because they have taken its cubs. They found its cubs like in a little net that was across the river, and they were caught in it. One is dead, one is alive, and they need it as evidence. So they gather both of them up, and they're gonna do tests on it and do some proving. You know, the paper mill guy, he's like, oh, I'm sorry, you know, I didn't want to believe, or I didn't want to know about the mercury poisoning. And they're like, you asshole, why weren't you more involved? Why didn't you do something? It's just, and he tries to redeem himself, but he gets killed by the bear. There's not even very much to say about this movie. It's so bad. And parts of it are super boring. Like, parts of it just go on way too long, and you know, I like the idea of it. I like the idea that the environment can cause deformities. It's very much in the vein of It's Alive, which I also have talked about on this channel, but at least It's Alive is a little more creepy. I don't know. This one's just not creepy at all. And part of it could be because Robert Foxworth annoys the hell out of me. That could be a big part of it. All the other people seem fine. I don't know. They end up getting half the people in the cast killed by the bear, and then Maggie and Rob, they do make it, and they are extracted from the woods of Maine, and they wake up in a hospital, and it's implied that she's had a miscarriage, but it isn't really discussed, and we don't know. I mean, that's... the first time I watched it, I was just like, did she have an abortion? I don't know. I don't know. Consensus is miscarriage. At least according to some of the behind-the-scenes stuff that I had watched after. And then we also see that Robert Foxworth had killed the bear thing, and he thought it had drowned. It didn't. There was a big chase scene. It tries to tear down the cabin. It goes after people. It kills people. And then Robert Foxworth ends up stabbing it and drowning it in a weird combination of things. And so we think it's dead. It's, you know, out of the picture. That's that. And both cubs, I believe, are dead at this point. I think they drowned the last... I think they drowned the one that was alive while they were trying to escape from the mama bear. Anyway, then, out of nowhere, this other naked mole rat bear pops up, and it must be the father. So, apparently it's not over. Maybe there's a prophecy too. I actually don't even know. But I would not waste my time on this movie. I really wouldn't. I don't usually say that, but I think this is just... And I think part of it is I had built it up in my head as being a great movie. So excited to watch it again. I was very, very looking forward to it. Put it in, watched it, and was kind of like, oh, why? So, that's Prophecy from 1979. I don't know that I'll be watching it ever again. I don't know. It will definitely have to be one of those background movies where you watch it and do other things, because I can't sit down and just watch it again. I can't. Let me know what you think about it down below, and if you do watch it after watching this video, don't say I didn't warn you. Have a spooky day.